Hello everybody and welcome to Game A Dare. It is a Sunday here on Game A Dare, and that means of course it is a Sunday story time, but we are doing something new for me at least, here on Game A Dare. We are returning to Root Double Before Crime, and we haven't played a visual novel all the way through before. We haven't played most games all the way through. We are going to start doing replays or full playthroughs of some games on the channel. I feel like I'm not going deep enough, so we're going to try another playthrough of Root Double today. We played it last week for a Sunday story time, and yeah, we'll see if we get a different outcome, for one, or if we get an outcome. If we can keep the story going, that would be great. If you want to know more about this game, then check out last week's video, but first, or second, why not join us while we play it? Alright, here we are, and hopefully I've got the audio, it's not going to peak this time. I think some of you had a little trouble hearing me last time. It's very hard for me to regulate the audio because it doesn't always sound the way it shows up visually. So, yeah, that looks like it should be fine. I can speak louder than the background music. I also don't want it to go too low because then it ends up, you know. Alright, so where are we loading from is the other thing. Man opened his eyes. Oh, so basically back at the beginning of the, of this whole thing. We finally come to, we find out that we are a, lieutenant? Or is she the lieutenant? Are we the colonel? I don't know. We're gonna... Captain! We're a captain! Maybe I do need to pull this down just a little bit. More importantly, can you say your own name or what day or month it is today? Uh-huh. So, we have amnesia. If you want to know what's being said here, then watch last week's video, because we've been through this part. We're rescue workers in the middle of an accident. He sat up anyway, and then fell right back down. Alright, I'm going to probably cycle through this. Man realized he was wearing the same uniform as the woman. Why am I wearing this thing? Maybe because you're a captain in their thingy. He had no connection with himself. That's right. So there's someone else in my head, I think. We're gonna find out. There's an explosion! What was that? The woman paid no heed to the man's confusion and instead exchanged glances. Another explosion? Maybe the fire's broken out. Let's go, Lieutenant. Right. Captain, please rest here. We'll handle this one by ourselves. The woman who'd been called Lieutenant broke out into a run alongside the other woman who's apparently her subordinate. Hey, hold on. So he doesn't want to be left behind. We told you to stay behind. Council? Nah, I think it'll be okay. Give us a hand, alright? He just wanted to ask something. What do you want to ask, buddy? What was that noise? What's happening? I'm sorry about all the yawning. Jeez. You'll understand if you come along. But stay close. Alright. They open the locker and there's a blast of heat. What is this heat? The heat haze filled the area, distorting a vision of what was before them. We need to put out the fire on the double. Yeah, before there's another explosion. The woman passed through the open doorway. The man followed suit and ran through the hallway into an inferno of hellfire. The man froze in shock at the scene he was confronted with, but the women quickly got to work without even a moment's hesitation. Get a hose ready. Roger. Out of the way, Captain. Whoa. He got thudded. Pull a hose from a fire hydrant built into a nearby wall. She then passed it to the lieutenant, who directed the nozzle toward the flames. Spray at the base of the flames. Commence water release. And back and forth arcs until... or a sweeping motion. Roger, here it comes. Jet stream of water collided with the flames, which erupted into large clouds of steam. Incredible. The fire is getting smaller and smaller by the second. That's what water does. The man stared at the swiftly dying fire in stark amazement. Just then, he heard something else mixed into the sound of the flames evaporating. A faint sound. Here's where things started to go wrong. What was that a voice? Yes, it was. He wondered if it was his mind playing tricks on him for a second. But as soon as he strained his ears... Help me, she says. He definitely heard what sounded like a young girl's voice coming from the room in front of him. Someone's in that room. The man's body started running as soon as this thought hit him, weaving its way through the gaps between the flames. The room's door was crushed inward due to the effects of the explosion. The man peeked into the room from the shadow of the broken door and saw a hellfire of a world of fire and smoke. Where is it? Where is the voice coming from? His hair was singed by the sparks bathing him, creating an awful stench that hung in the air. What's more, his eyes were tearing up thanks to the smoke irritating them. But he endured and focused on searching the room, and that's when he saw the girl. Found her. She's hiding under a desk. Are you okay? The girl looked toward the man's voice and with hope in her eyes. But the moment her gaze met the man's, her face froze. What's with that look? Overcome with confusion, he came to a halt. But at that moment... Don't stop. Save her. That's the voice inside my head. He suddenly heard a voice. He didn't know whose voice it was. It sounded like it had echoed from inside him. But the moment he heard, everything suddenly fell into place. He finally realized why he was here. That's right. I came here to save her. So, it sounds to me like there are two conflicting presences, and one is a rescue worker and one is someone who cares about her. And now that they're in sync, they both want to save people, her specifically. There's no schizoid split. The moment he came to that realization, his previously divided body and nerves seemed to finally become one. The flames were closing in on the girl. The voice resounded yet again in his head. Go save her. And with that command given him the final push he needed. The man lunged into the blazing flames. That seems like not a great idea. After. I guess we're after days instead of before crime. Okay, so we went through this before, so I'm not gonna read the whole thing again. Can I skip? Can I skip the tutorial? Skip. Is it really important? I see. You must be in a real hurry. Alright, that's what happens if you don't make her important. But what if you do make her important? Stretch it out that way. And now you stop what you're doing and pay attention to the girl. So. That is me, I guess. I can't change the value for the girl. Don't know why. That's where things went wrong before. We ran in and then got dead. The man screamed this and was about to rush into the flames, but was interrupted by someone grabbing him by the collar. Captain, you can't just run in blindly like that. But if we don't do something quick, the girl will... I'll take care of it. Once he heard her say this, the man... Got it. I'm counting on you. Because I trust her. Gave the answer instinctively. He felt more at ease leaving it up to her. Alrighty, leave this to me. Female rescue worker quickly brushed the man aside, dashing into the room. Lieutenant, back me up with a hose. Roger. The lieutenant pointed the hose upward. The jet stream shattered apart when it hit the ceiling and scattered into a spray. Female rescue worker then ran into the room as if clad in that water. Interesting. What an amazing technique! It was perfect teamwork. Female rescue worker then ran up to the girl through the mist and steam. Survivor rescued! Nice. She shouted triumphantly. That dramatic rescue had happened in a blink of an eye. Much better than getting dead. A few minutes later, once the roaring inferno had been doused, the rescue workers tended to the girl they'd saved. Don't worry, miss. You're safe now. Are you hurt? No. So, are you okay? Yes. Not, are you hurt? No. Why make that? I'm curious, why make that change? Because the audio said, are you okay? And she's like, yes. And then the translator is like, are you hurt? No. It's a weird translation. The man stood a short distance away, observing them. In the end, he'd been completely useless, both at putting out the fires and at saving her. So he figured the least he could do is try talk to her. Glad you're okay. Why is she scared of me? Another frightened look engulfed the girl's face at that moment. Did you do something, Captain? No, nothing. Honest. Try not to scare her, okay? Your face is already scary enough as it is. Oh, sorry. I gave you a little shock there. But you can take it easy now. We're on your side. We came here to save you. Probably. Probably. The girl's body shook with a start upon hearing that. Captain, why would you ever say something like that? Yeah, you've been acting weird since you woke up. Not knowing what's going on is one thing, but you've been no help at all either. Sorry. After giving a brief apology, the man fired off another question. By the way, can I ask you guys a question? You've been calling me Captain, so does that mean I'm the captain of a rescue squad or something? Huh? The heck are you talking about? What do you mean by that? The man thought hard once he heard their surprised answers. But as he'd feared, he couldn't locate any information about himself in his head. Well, the thing is, I don't know anything. Not who I am, or even where I am. I'd have thought that was obvious. The women's faces twitched at that proclamation. You don't mean... You've got amnesia? Amnesia. The man mulled over the word. So that's what it is. But for some illogical reason, the answer, no, that's not it, suddenly popped into his head. It's more like my mind is denying me the right to think about who I am. Huh. It was a strange feeling. But since it didn't look like he could explain what had happened to him very well, he reluctantly decided to go with their suggestion. Yeah, I guess you could call this amnesia. Come on, Captain, quit pulling our legs. No, I really wish I was joking. Wait, you mean you're totally serious? I don't know why we have to go through this sort of stuff. Please, hold on a moment, Captain. Did you hurt your head by any chance? My head? Now that you mention it, I do have a really bad headache a few minutes ago. I knew it! There's a possibility that you hit your head on something. That's probably why you feel dazed and having trouble remembering things. Then that means your memories should return in time. Is that how this works? Yeah. It appears that retrograde amnesia caused by physical trauma goes away fairly quickly on its own without requiring any particular treatment, in most cases. The lieutenant calmly explained that as she threw around a few technical terms here or there. Then you're saying this is only temporary. Yes, but if you suffered brain damage by any chance, it's possible that your amnesia could be permanent. And I believe there have been a few cases where death occurs if the brain damage is left untreated. The man felt a shudder go through him at those words. What the hell? That's horrible! Captain, how bad is your headache? Do you feel like throwing up? No, my head doesn't hurt at all right now, and my stomach feels fine. Then I guess he's in the clear? No. We can't be sure of that just yet. If you'll please bear with me for a moment, Captain. The woman grabbed the man by the arm, rolled up his sleeve, and looked at his wrist. He hadn't noticed until that moment, but he had some kind of wristband-like object wrapped around it. What's this? It's called a vital checker. It automatically diagnoses the wearer's health. A closer look revealed that there were several numerical readings and 5 green lights on the device. Status all green. No issue with your pulse, blood pressure, or anything else. You're completely healthy. Then it looks like we don't have to worry about him dropping dead or anything like that for now, right? But we can't be optimistic about this without an expert's opinion. Please get yourself a proper examination and treatment later. The female rescue worker's eyes widened as soon as she heard the lieutenant's reply. Oh, crap, I almost forgot! Lieutenant, we need to give this girl some AD fast. The lieutenant's face froze at those words. Oh no, how could we be so careless? The lieutenant wasted no time in taking something out of her pocket. It was an ampule loaded in a transparent container. The lieutenant turned it towards the girl and spoke. Please hold out your arm. No, I don't want a shot. You can't be like that. You'll be in grave danger without it. The girl turned around and tried to run, but the lieutenant grabbed her before she could. She then rolled up the girl's sleeve without giving her a chance to speak, and pushed the tip of the ampule into the girl, injecting her with its contents. The girl's eyes widened as her body trembled. Feeling rather unnerved by her action, the man spoke up. What's that drug? It's called AD. Put in simple terms, it's an anti-radiation drug. The man felt an ominous echo in those words. Did you say an anti-radiation drug? Yes, it was given to us by the members of this facility staff for this mission. We can't survive in here unless we keep injecting ourselves with this, because... The lieutenant surveyed her surroundings, then continued in a bitter voice. Because this facility is currently contaminated from top to bottom with radiation. What? The bad feeling he'd gotten earlier only intensified with that statement. Hold on a minute. Radiation? Contaminated? What are you talking about? What the hell kind of facility is this place? I'm very curious. The lieutenant took a good hard look at the bewildered man and followed up with a clear answer. A nuclear energy research facility equipped with a small-scale nuclear reactor used for research purposes. And nearly 2 hours ago, that very same reactor went through a meltdown. Even though it was supposedly his first time hearing that word, it still managed to send shivers down the man's spine. A meltdown? Simply put, it refers to when something causes a nuclear reactor to melt, resulting in the nuclear fuel inside leaking out. It was an extremely serious accident that is frequently accompanied by explosions and fires. And it also spreads radiation that has harsh negative effects on the human body. The entire facility is currently contaminated with such radiation. I don't know what's happening up here. There keep being words appearing, like right where I am. So I hope we're not missing anything, but I haven't noticed. I haven't been able to see what it says. That can't be. You say this place is contaminated, but it doesn't look that way at all. It doesn't look contaminated. Radiation is odorless and invisible to the naked eye, but it's definitely there, eating away at our bodies. The lieutenant then took some sort of device out of her pocket. Tip: radiation measuring instrument has been added. Okay, so things are being added to my lexicon, I guess. This is a Pyrocyan, a device for measuring radiation. This reading it's currently showing is 1108 MSV per hour. Interesting. This is approximately over 20 million times more radiation than what exists in nature. 20 million? Even under normal circumstances, there are faint levels of radiation in space and on the Earth's surface. But the dosage is so low that it has almost no effect on the human body. But when in a situation where you'd expect to, when you're exposed to such abnormally strong levels of radiation, like the 1108 MSV surrounding us, it's known as radiation exposure, which causes severe negative effects on the human body. This includes skin inflammation, nausea, organ failure, brain damage, vision impairment, neurological disorders, genetic disorders, and cancer, which I'd argue is a genetic disorder. The lieutenant's matter-of-fact explanation caused all the hair on the man's body to stick up on their ends in fear. These health problems can occur when you're exposed to 100 MSV and above, meaning that the levels we are being exposed to right now are particularly strong. The environment is so deadly that we normally wouldn't be able to take even a single step in here. And though some areas in this facility have less radiation than others, it's completely impossible to avoid exposure, no matter where you are. We can't get away from it? Are you shitting? Are you shitting me? How the hell can you be so calm at a time like this? Please wait. Please remain quiet until I've finished explaining. The man instantly shut up at the lieutenant's voice. She gestured to an empty ampule in her hand and continued. But this AD drug offers almost 100% protection against the effects of radiation exposure. Granted that you're in an area with lower radiation levels, that is. Okay, I'm going to put her at high, because she seems highly, capable. And I'm going to pause here. Okay, we're here and back and ready to, yes, we want to trust her as much as possible. But this drug offers almost 100% protection from the effects of radiation exposure, granted that you're in an area of lower radiation levels, that is. 100%? This is no ordinary drug. It contains medical nanomachines that detoxify and expel the radiation received by the human body. Okay, so why do you need further injections then? Are the nanomachines not self-replicating, or do they get used up by the radiation and deteriorate? That said, it's only effective for a mere 60 minutes, and we don't have a lot of it either. Upon hearing her whole explanation, the man chose to trust her. Good instinct. I see. Everything he'd just heard felt so utterly unrealistic, but given how much the lieutenant had said it all with a straight face, it was probably true. But he suddenly felt a chill run through him. A chill. Hey, you're sure we'd be okay without getting shots too? Huh? What do you mean? We only just injected ourselves right before we found you. The lieutenant and her subordinate gasped. Oh yeah, Captain. When was the last time you gave yourself some AD? I don't know. Crap, you better inject yourself just to be safe. You should have some AD on you. The man frantically searched his pockets and quickly found an ampule in one of them. Found it. Using it's a piece of cake. It comes with its own cartridge. Just put it in that. Now, all you've got to do is break the tip off and put it against the vein, and that should. And then press the end. Like this. Urged on by the women, the man loaded the ampule into a cartridge. Once he injected it, the fluid in the container entered his body, accompanied by a slight pricking pain that came from the shot. And at that moment, he felt like something had faded from his head. Was this feeling... is it a side effect of the drug? What's wrong, Captain? That means you're safer now, so that shouldn't be a problem. Safe? The idea of feeling safe in this situation was totally insane to the man. There's no way in hell I could accept a messed up situation like this so easily. He decided to try asking a question in an attempt to keep himself from worrying. Hey, can I ask you something? Just who am I? And what's happening right now? And, right, the exit. Where's the exit to this facility? The lieutenant and her subordinate exchanged glances upon hearing his chain of questions. The exit, huh? Then we'll take you to it now. I'll explain the situation to you when we get on the way there. Their words seemed to carry heavy weight with them. Oh, thanks. I'd appreciate it. Roger that. Then, Captain, ma'am, this way, please. Okay. The lieutenant started walking. The rest of the group soon followed after her. The group led by the lieutenant approached what appeared to be a connecting passageway. It was blocked by a metal door, but that opened once the lieutenant had operated a nearby terminal. Nice. Inner circumference side first area. On the other side was another block that looked to be like it belonged in an office building. This place is huge. Yeah, I'll say. Just then, the lieutenant turned to the man and spoke. Captain, which would you rather know first? Your personal information or the situation? Oh, I'd ask the situation first. Understood. Then let's start with your name. It's Watase Kasasagi. So, Kasasagi is his family name, and Watase is his given name. So that's my name. Then the man, no, Watase. Listen to the lieutenant list off facts about him with a strange feeling in his heart. You're 32 years old and single. You're a member of the Rokume City Fire Department's Special Elite Squad, Sirius. Your rank is Fire Lieutenant. So he's captain of the squad, but he's a fire lieutenant. And you're our squad's captain. In other words, that makes you our direct superior. So, is any of this bringing back any memories? No. Not ringing any bells. I see. What do we have to change here? Okay. Ah. Okay, I'll maybe bump her down just a touch because she's a subordinate, but huh. I can't affect the girl, and I'd like to. By the way, what are your names? Oh, forgive me for not telling you sooner. I'm Kazami Tashiban, Fire Sergeant. So, she's a sergeant, not a lieutenant. I serve this squad as your lieutenant. It's so confusing. Watase carved this information into his memory. Tachibana Kazami. My lieutenant, huh? Seems like a cool and collected type, if you ask me. The woman named Kazami appeared to be strict, both toward herself and others. Can I call you Kazami-san? No, please call me Tachibana instead. There's no need to be formal with me. I'm not sure why she mentioned he was single as part of his important information. That doesn't seem like the most relevant right now. Watase nodded. Just then, the other rescue workers spoke up. Hi, I'm Moribunju. Firefighter, 20 years old. I only just joined Cirrus, not Sirius. Cirrus. This year. So I'm what you'd call the team's new blood. My nickname's Serious Lady Suicide Squad Chief. My catchphrase is Jun's my name, rescue's my game. Let's get along, okay? She seems super perky, which is probably going to give me a little bit of a headache, but that's okay. She felt like the complete opposite of Kazami. Jun Moribe, the team's newest recruit, huh? She sure is a bright bundle of energy. She seemed to have a fierce will, and yet a cheerful and friendly personality. She didn't appear to be very conscious of the hierarchy in the group, perhaps because she was a lot younger than her superiors. Please excuse her attitude. I keep telling her to do something about it, but it just doesn't sink in. I usually am careful about it. It's just that when I get to work, I get caught up in the heat of things and can't hold myself back, you know? Know that? Yeah, I don't mind at all, actually. It makes things a lot more comfortable for me. Oh, you're so understanding today, Captain. Well, it looks like she's got the skills to make up for it. She'd have to have nerves of steel to stay so cool in a situation like this. Watase then turned to the last member of the party as that thought crossed his mind. So then, what's your name, Missy? Why is she so afraid of us? The girl hid herself behind Jun as soon as Watase asked. Oh boy, doesn't look like she's warming up to you all that much, Captain. Well then, would you tell me your name, Missy? Yuri? Yuri. Her name is Yuri. The girl only gave her first name. Yuri, huh? That's a cute name. Nice to meet you. Yuri. Something about that name bugged Watase. Feels like I've heard the name somewhere before. But no matter how much he studied her face or searched his memories, he couldn't remember anything solid. So he decided to give up and turn his attention back to Kazami. Okay then, now that we're done introducing ourselves, could you please explain what's going on? Roger that. Let me explain this facility first. Kazami then quietly began to speak. We're in a nuclear research facility located in the outskirts of the city known as Rokume City. Could you be a bit more specific on that first part? I don't know the details, but more or less seems to be a facility for conducting research related to nuclear power. Nuclear-powered humans! The facility's name is the 6th Laboratory of Atomic and Biological Organization, known as Labo for short. So, it's the Labo. It's a facility with 2 floors and 2 underground floors, with the latter housing a nuclear reactor used for research purposes. But at 6:19 a.m. earlier today, that's September 16th, tomorrow, in 11 years to be exact, explosions of unknown origins occurred in the basement levels. Fires broke out all over the place at the same time, and part of the facility's control system malfunctioned as a result. There were concerns about the possibility that the nuclear reactor's cooling function would malfunction, as well as cause a meltdown if things kept going the way they did. So they sent a rescue request to Sirius, since we're trained to handle these kinds of disasters, if we can remember our training. We then arrived on the scene at 06:26 and commenced our search for those still trapped. Watase looked at the sturdy watch around his wrist. The digital display read 09:27, so they'd been there 3 hours. So that was about 3 hours ago, huh? When we got here, we split into 2 teams of 5, A and B. We're A team. You set up a command post on the first floor and commanded A team from there. A team was split into 2 two-man cells, me and Moribe, and 2 other workers named Dojima and Hiyama. But after that, we lost contact with Dojima and Hiyama party. We lost contact with you. This was around 6:35 a.m. What happened? The 3 of you might have gone down to the basement floors at that time. Reception's really bad down there, so our radios are nearly useless in that sort of situation. I see. But why'd we go down to the basement to begin with? It's possible that you went to rescue survivors. According to members of Labo staff, the basement floors had already been evacuated, and the only survivors still there were trapped in above-ground floors, but while we were saving them, we found out there were survivors in the basement too. So the lieutenant and I headed there. But the fires down there were much worse than we'd expected. So we got stuck for a while. By the time we could move again, we'd lost sight of the survivors. Huh. It was then that we set up a makeshift base on B2 and resumed our rescue activities once again. Then right after that, around 7:15, a most ominous announcement about a Case N was broadcast throughout the entire facility. Right, I remember that. Case N, what's that? Given the nature of this facility, it's probably short for nuclear. We've got something in the rescue world we call an N disaster. In that case, N refers to nuclear-induced disaster. Nuclear, huh? So you're saying that warning was something nuclear-related. Okay, now I can bump her down to, say, normal. Peacemaker. She doesn't seem like a peacemaker so far. I like her a lot, and what I mean is I trust her a lot, and I like her a lot, and her I'm on the fence about, so I'm gonna say, yeah, right in the middle. Yes. We believe that a meltdown occurred in the reactor area at that time. We checked our procyons right after the announcement and discovered that the radiation levels had grown abnormally high, so we're pretty confident in our theory. So basically, this Case N thing is probably slang for meltdown. By the time they'd finished explaining, the group had arrived in Area 2. So, what about the exit? Isn't it too dangerous for us to be here for too long? We agree, it's just the staircase leading to the surface is here in Area 2, but Kazami and Jun paused, then looked down the hall. Standing there was a door with a plate that read emergency staircase. What's wrong? Is there a problem with it or something? I think you'll understand much quicker if you see for yourself. Huh? Kazami paid no heed to Watase's confusion and opened the door instead. The group ascended a dark staircase. And once he saw what was there, Watase couldn't help but gasp. What the hell is this? The iron wall was lying just a short distance away from the top of the stairs. And there you have it. What do you mean, there you have it? The truth of the matter is that all exits to the surface are currently blocked off by this bulkhead. Meaning we're trapped down here in Labo's basement floors. Trapped? Why? I don't know. That said, the PA did say they were locking down all bulkheads leading to the surface at the time it was announced the Case N. So, there's probably no way out. can't be serious. Can't you just contact someone on the outside and ask them to open it up? We can't get in touch with them. All the landline phones here are dead, and the radio was working good enough at first, but then reception kept getting worse and worse for some reason, and now the chances of contacting them are pretty much zilch. Then can't we just break it or force it open? Watase tried pounding his fists on the bulkhead because he's Superman. But it didn't budge an inch. God damn it! Break! Open up, you piece of shit! But no matter how hard he punched, kicked, or pushed it, nothing changed. It didn't look like something that could be dealt with human hands alone. Looks like we can't do anything to it without any explosives or something. Hate to break it to you, but we don't have any. We can't destroy it with the equipment we have on hand. Though it's annoying to admit, the bulkhead was completely split from the basement and surface apart. Watase finally understood the situation that he heard when he heard Kazami and Jun's comments. But it was a hard pill to swallow. Isn't there any other way out of here? Negative. We've tried all sorts of things ourselves in the 2 hours we've been trapped here, but nothing worked. We can't go through the air ducts, all the elevators are out of order, and we can't break the ceiling. What's worse, this facility is supposed to have a flawless sprinkler system. But it's not working for some reason. So we don't even have fires breaking out just have fires breaking out all over the place. We have got no way to find out where they're coming from. Oh. What the hell? Then we're in real deep shit, aren't we? We're all full of radiation, there's fires everywhere, and we can't even get outside? What the hell is this? Please calm down. Having a rescue captain lose his cool will only make matters worse. She's right, Captain. Can't you see that what you're doing is scaring poor Yuri to death? With realization hitting him full force, Watase looked at Yuri. She was hiding behind Jun and looking at him with trembling eyes. I'm sorry. Kazami and Jun were right. He couldn't just show such disgraceful behavior in front of a frail girl like Yuri. Regardless of his amnesia, Watase had most likely come down to the basement floors in order to rescue people. But at that moment, he was hit by a sudden question. Oh, come to think of it, what were you doing in Labo, Yuri? Just then, a tearful look had appeared on Yuri's face for some reason. What's wrong? I'm family to one of the people who work here. And so, I happened to get caught up in all of this by bad luck. I see. That's a disaster for you. Watase turned his thoughts as he kept looking at Yuri. It really has been a disaster for all of us. I really wish we could all get out of here. But he knew it wasn't that simple. In the first place, there was still way too much information that he didn't know about the current situation. Why wouldn't the bulkhead open up? Why wasn't the sprinkler system working? Why had he lost his memories? And, say, Tachibana, what's our next move? I'd like to explain that to you in detail. We've got simple makeshift base set up nearby, so let's head there first. And as much as it feels like we just got started, I am going to save. And that is going to be it here today on Game Adair. Thanks so much for joining me while we've been continuing to play Root Double After Days, I believe, not Before Crime. Yeah, that makes sense. After Days. If you enjoyed this video and if you want to keep this train going, then please give it the old thumbs up and leave me a comment letting me know what you think. Do you think I've chosen the right path? Do you think you would have different feelings toward these three characters? Let me know that in the comments too, because I really like this system. It's interesting. Not getting to choose your character's choices, but how they feel about people in the situation. Yeah, let me know. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, and when you do, don't forget to hit that dingy bell, because that will let you know when I upload new videos, which I do every single day. My name is Sept. We have been playing Root Double After Days here today on this Sunday Storytime. Thanks so much for joining me, and please come back tomorrow when we'll be playing something for a brand new series on Monday. Thanks, everybody.